Hello and welcome to episode 13 of the Bad Friends podcast. My name is Connor this time doing the intro because Famas has gone AWOL for the last 3 weeks, and that is basically the main reason why there has been no podcast. So instead of it just being me talking to my microphone alone as usual, it is Tomas.
No, not Tomas, the second best Tom on this podcast.
TomGW has joined us for another podcast just because I
Hello.
needed someone to fill in.
How's it going? You good?
I'm decent enough now. I mean, I had, in the same way Tomas said a few weeks ago, I haven't had anywhere to just ramble about stuff for 2 weeks, so I guess this will do. Before I get there, I just want to say that there probably won't. No, I'm saying there probably won't be. There won't be a podcast next week because I'll be in Portugal, even though Tomas is back. But the
Lucky
week
you. I can just join Tomas if you like.
Yeah, if you're able to record it, probably, yeah. But I won't be around to do it, so the week after, me and Tomas will be back to do episodes, and we'll hopefully get back to doing them weekly. Then yeah, that's basically all I want to say.
Okay, should we get to the topics then?
May as well. A lot of these will probably end up being outdated. For example, how one of them, Screw, I'll just mention this all together at the start. So I'm Alan, or I'm Alex.
I'm Twatish, as I call him.
He's only gone and ruined himself, really.
Yeah, I think people liked him. Like he wasn't like a not respected member of the community.
Oh no, he was he was one of the bigger, most respected members of the commentary community.
Yeah.
As of recently, anyway, because he's very much a guy who likes to play devil's advocate a lot of the time.
I think people he was very popular, and I think being friends with people like Will and E and ImAllexx kind of helped because they don't really find themselves in controversy very much. So surrounding yourself with people like that kind of gives you an advantage of like the fans mainly liking you, I think.
Yeah. But so, for those of you who don't know, a YouTuber called Slazo. I was tempted to make a video on this like 3 times.
Oh, so was I. I was really considering it because I think it's more than just YouTube drama this time. Like when someone's entire life, their entire career is at risk as the result of a YouTuber just making up shit about them. Wait, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
I probably asked that last time, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I think it's more like it's a step up from YouTube beef because Slazo's entire life pretty much got ruined for a couple of weeks until he made that response video.
Oh yeah, still is really like
he hasn't uploaded since. I checked his channel today to see if he'd uploaded. There's been nothing from him. I don't think. No. Maybe by the time this comes out there might have been, but right now there's nothing.
Yeah, but basically he got accused by his ex-girlfriend, I think, of it wasn't rape, but it was like sexual assault or something.
It was
like that,
sexual assault, and she exposed like these messages on Discord where he was saying things like oh, like I'm sorry babes, I love you, but I just sometimes rape you, which it's a horrible thing to say, but you know that's a joke. No one would ever put that in writing.
Yeah.
You know that that's a joke, and like for her to take that out of context and try to claim it serious, I think that's just
yeah. But as a result of all of the backlash that came from it originally, because people were like, "Oh, it has to do with Slazo," and then I was being shot at Slazo because loads of YouTubers, especially around ImAllexx, have been associated with Slazo. A lot of them went straight to just back her, which I found weird in the first place, but I thought that if they were, then it must have been true.
Yeah, to be honest, when I first heard about all of this, I was backing her. I don't remember if I actually tweeted out to her, but I was definitely thinking like, okay, that's not nice because like you kind of when someone comes out with allegations like that, you'd usually believe them, wouldn't you?
Well, you'd like, have to basically give them the benefit of the doubt for the most part, but. I mean, there were some YouTubers that were like, hey, remember James Charles, simmer down. And we're telling people just to wait for his side of the story and then see how that went. like LT Cobra, for example, but
Yeah.
he got so much crap on Twitter from ImAllexx stans as a result because he was going against their idol.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, sorry, go on.
It ended up becoming a case of like, if you weren't with Alex, you were evil, and if you weren't with his crew, it's not just Alex, like it was like Quite and
Hyojin, yeah.
And like Wild Spartans and other Reddit YouTubers, which as a result, I don't really like Reddit YouTubers in the first place, but like,
no. Like I wonder if it was as like sort of black and white as they literally got together and were like, let's finish Slazo. Because that's what it seems like. It seems like they were just like, right, let's get together as a group and try to end Slazo's career, which is so scummy. Like, I cannot understand why you'd want to do that to someone who you see as a friend.
Yeah, it's gotten so bad for all of them now, really, because now they're all like disgraced. Like,
yeah, and to be honest, like, I feel like in Alex's defense, like, obviously what he did was wrong, but he's definitely getting most of the hate for this, and no one's really paying attention to the girl who was the one who actually put out the false allegations, who, in my opinion, she should be the one getting the most hate because she initiated it publicly.
Yeah. But like, it wouldn't have been so. I'd say it would have been her that was getting it after the apology that Slazo made, and that not really apology. When he told his side and apologized for a few things that he did when he was 16, and he said, "Oh yeah, I may have been a bit of a controlling knob. Whatever. Sorry, I'm really sorry if I made her uncomfortable and asked her to reach out to him again." And then Alex made a video afterwards where he was on Twitter, which is the main reason I'd say why he was witch hunted, which is him just basically being backed into a corner and being like, I don't believe anything like that. I don't want to associate with anyone that was capable of doing what he admitted to, which was just being a controlling boyfriend and a bit of a knob.
Yeah,
and
that was the bit that confused me the most, because I was willing to give, like, I didn't really want to like pick a side, because looking in when you're not involved at all, it's hard to really pick a side. But when Alex literally comes out, even after Slazo's disproved all the points, he still just said, "Oh well, I still back Che." It's like, well, what do you didn't? Did you listen to anything he said?
Yeah, and because he was just lying and lying and lying and just wouldn't accept that he was wrong, he actually managed to make Kavos the good guy.
God, I was waiting until we'd get onto Kavos, because talking about this topic is only so long until his name comes up. Like,
but it really blew up when Kavos started talking about it, because Kavos and ImAllexx have always been going at each other, but when Kavos started talking about it, everyone started talking about it, and I don't know how Alex managed it, but he made Kavos be the moral compass of the commentary community for a few weeks.
Yeah, like, something I find amazing is how similar ImAllexx and Kavos are in so many ways, and yet they do not get on in the slightest.
Oh no, but like, I think it's just because Alex doesn't explicitly hate people. Like, I don't like Kavos, in case you aren't going to be able to detect this by the end of this, but I really do not like Kavos.
I don't like Kavos either. I used to like him. I used to kind of like be entertained by his videos, but now I don't find his videos entertaining in the slightest. I feel like he just shits on people and doesn't even make it entertaining, which I can't really get behind that, because it's not entertaining to watch.
He's a bit he just wants to go at people for the sake of going at people.
Yeah, definitely.
And like, he doesn't really make fun of them. He will just go at them. It's not even funny in the way he does it, which is like, if it's your own personal preference, like, I'm not gonna hate anyone who likes Kavos, but I just really don't.
I don't really like Alex either, especially after what's happened recently. But like, beforehand, I was never a huge fan of Alex, because I sort of saw shades of Kavos in him, in the way that, like, I felt like he thrived off kind of like bringing others down more so than most commentary YouTubers did. Like, the whole thing, you remember what like Simon Winter said about how like he hates all commentary channels because of that.
Yeah.
He's talking about people like Kavos, and to an extent people like Alex, because I feel like Alex falls under that umbrella more than most commentary YouTubers do.
Oh well, when you compare him to someone like ImAllexx or Will Any, he absolutely does.
They are pure piss takers. Like they're not doing it for any reason other than to just have a bit of a laugh. Whereas I think Alex takes the drama a bit more seriously, which makes me dislike him a bit more because it's just YouTube.
Yeah, but yeah, it's because of even situations like this as well, which is why you get comments like Simon Minter saying, if commentary channels for me, I hate them because they're always trying to bring everyone down.
I can hear his voice saying that when you say that.
Commentary channels for me.
I hate them.
But I remember everyone got mad because he overgeneralized things, and like especially people like Alex were saying, "No, Simon, you're wrong." But this situation kind of proves he falls under that category, doesn't it?
He's basically just proving Simon's point by coming at him like that when he said it. Like the fact that he took what he said so seriously and got so sort of like butthurt over a guy just being like, "I don't like commentary channels." I think that for me, like Alex was literally just feeding him everything he just said on that podcast by reacting like that.
Yeah, and then you got people like Marky who were just mocking Simon the whole time, but also being like, "Yeah, commentary is really bad, isn't it?"
But for me, that just shows the clear difference between someone like Marky and someone like Alex, because he's willing to just sort of like, I'm sure if like Simon and Alex have met up before, they seem to get on all right.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell from just being like a viewer on the internet, but like, I can't really understand Alex's mindset of being like, "God, I can't believe you said this, and I'm so angry because you just disrespect my category or genre, or whatever." Like, I just think he's a bit of a. You can tell that he was the kid in school that would like cry if someone like took the piss out of him.
Yeah,
you just know that was him.
But this week, I would have probably skimmed over this because it was kind of getting to a point where everyone's like, flipping Kavos was just tweeting every day like, "Alex hasn't apologized yet, Alex hasn't apologized yet," all this other.
I was getting so bored of that, I swear.
And I was like, I'm not going to mention it now because it's all blown over, but Alex finally, after a month, apologized in quotation marks because it's a YouTuber apology.
I wouldn't really say he apologized. What he more did is he just wrote down in the notes on his phone, "Yeah, guys, so a lot of you are saying that you want me to apologize, so I'm quickly going to just like tip my hat to you and say, yep, here is my apology, and then get on with my day just to shut you all up." Because that's essentially what he did.
Yeah,
he had no intention of actually apologizing.
He said, "Recently I spoke to Slazo and discussed as well as apologized for my support of Che's ritual post and the way I handled the accusations that have been put forward." He literally, if he just said that and put it in a tweet, that would have been enough. But he waffles on for a bit longer. I came to the conclusion I had through multiple friends of mine reinforcing stories, as well as multiple other people coming forward with personal situations involving Slazo under the pretext I fully believed at the time. So what he was saying was, "Oh, other people told me this, so I believed them." Which that I hate when YouTubers do that about an apology. They don't just say, "I'm sorry," especially someone like him, because commentary YouTubers, if you get your stuff wrong, you're in a bad spot.
Yeah, because people listen to you. Like people, I know that Keemstar kind of brands himself as like the news of YouTube, but like any commentary channel really, like people listen to you as fact because you're providing like the story of something that happened. So when you get something wrong, it doesn't look good.
No, so he can't. He should have actually just said, "I'm sorry," and that be it.
100%.
And then there's like, "It was a mistake to support the posters, no matter how much I believe the allegations were true. It does not excuse the fact that I should have given it to the correct authorities to deal with it properly and privately." Well done.
Only a month late.
Case, and you realised that you should have given it to the police instead of putting it online. Regarding me doubling down, I very much believed in all the stories I had been given from multiple other people, which is why I wasn't quick to dismiss the alleged victims that had approached me, although that doesn't excuse my rash responses and poor handling of a very delicate situation. That doesn't, like, you didn't have to double down. That's the thing. As much as you may have believed the stories, you think you would have researched them before you double down. But as soon as the video came out, he just kind of flipped. I was like, no.
Do your research. God, did Alfie Days teach him nothing?
Oh my! I remember Jack May was saying that every time Alex is trying to make a good point, he'd say, "Do your research." Maybe if Alex listened, none of this would have happened.
Yeah, mate. God, if there's one thing we can take away from all of this, it's listen to Jack May and listen to Alfie Days.
And do your research.
I think, to be honest, like, we could go on for days about this if we wanted to, but at the end of the day, Alex was a very bad friend. Slazo was a bit of a creep, but not a rapist. And Kavos is thirsty for
attention.
Attention, yeah. Took the words right out of my mouth. One
thing I do want to say is because I kind of mentioned her in this bit there, but I want to kind of cover this section because it kind of shows how bad this got, and I don't want to spend too long on it either. But I just want to say get well soon to Hyojin. I don't know if you heard the situation where she apparently attempted suicide because she was getting so much hate, and Jesus,
it's scary. It is scary that the internet. It kind of makes it a bit more real, doesn't it, when you hear things like that happening?
Yeah.
What could happen, yeah.
But yeah, it's a dodgy situation. So I just hope she gets back to normal. They said she was in a critical condition, but then the next day she was apparently fine. So.
Yeah, still, it's dark though. Like, I hope she gets well soon.
Yeah, so I just want to move on from that topic.
Yes.
But we kind of mentioned Stans there for a while. Actually, no, this will be easier actually. So on the topic of sexual abuse,
I know what you're going to talk about
now. So Brad Pitt, who's in the new Quentin Tarantino film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They were on the red carpet, obviously, for a premiere, and someone else who I have never heard of before, named Lena Dunham, went up and tried to kiss him on the red carpet, and someone from the New York Post took a picture and put up an article. Leah Dunham awkwardly tries to kiss Brad Pitt on the red carpet.
I mean, I think that's inappropriate. I don't think that she should have done that, obviously. I think that, that's without a doubt her in the wrong, but calling that sexual assault...
I might put the image up on screen now, but...
It's quite an awkward image. I think the image kind of makes it seem a bit more like... Well, I say a bit more, like, I don't know. But I think that is not sexual assault. I think it's, to an extent, assault. I don't
think it's assault. I think it's more harassment.
Harassment. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's harassment. But to call that sexual assault applies it to be sexual.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into detail about what I'm trying to say there, but you understand.
Yeah. It's just because you can tell he doesn't want it, does he?
Yeah, his facial expression tells an entire story there about the fact that he really wants her off him.
He just wants to walk off and go talk to someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason a lot of this is kind of blown up for film Twitter is because a lot of people are like, well, you see, the problem with it here is that if a woman did this, it would be... No, if a man did this, it'd be way worse. And I have to say, I would probably, to an extent, agree.
I think it would, yeah. But you got to remember, it's getting to the point now where whenever a woman does anything inappropriate publicly, the main response is, well, if a man did this, it would be way worse. So, the fact that is acknowledged every single time shows that it's not really, because people are recognizing it in the same way.
Yeah. I hate that sort of mentality where everyone has the same response for everything. If a man did this, it'd be way worse. When Brie Larson was saying that she didn't care about what 40-year-old white men have to say, and it was what if a man said that about women? It's yeah, whatever, it'll probably be perceived worse by the press,
But it's not any worse because it's exactly the same thing fundamentally.
Yeah. I mean, if you want equality, it's not even really the men's side, it's the 40-year-old white person that she was talking about.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's... And film Twitter is weird. A lot of people get angry about small stuff, like Scarlett Johansson. She made like a small comment where she said if she should be allowed to play whatever role she wants, whether it's male or female, it shouldn't matter. She should just be allowed to play whatever role she wants, and it just shouldn't matter.
But that's nothing to do with being male or female.
But a lot of people were like, "Oh, so what? You're gonna cast her as the new Spider-Man or something?" And like, no. She's just saying that if she goes in for a role, she should be accepted for that role and not judged for being, oh, you aren't what I envisioned this very specific role of being.
Yeah, like if you're gonna be like, if you're good for the role and if you're gonna be able to play it well, then there's no reason why that person can't be it. Like that should kind of go without saying, really.
Oh man, it does my head in.
Yeah,
it's just that sort of like backwards thinking. But yeah. While we're on the topic of, I kind of mentioned Spider-Man there. I'm on fire with the segues here. But Tom Holland, he got a girlfriend.
Yes.
Whoop-de-doo. But Stan Twitter
don't like it too much because they all thought that they had a chance with their 200 Twitter
Tom
followers.
Holland.
Yeah.
Let me just see now. Can I find this? But like, people were saying, "I'm disappointed in Tom."
It's like, he was mine in my own like imaginary world. Like, how dare he go against the rules in my imaginary world?
Yeah, like it's just there's like people with like Tom Holland profile pictures who were like, "Oh, I'm so disappointed in him, and I don't even know who this person is. It's so weird." And like, someone has it here. It's disturbing seeing people harass Tom Holland's girlfriend because she ruined their ship. Like, what is wrong with you? You're all creepy as hell.
Yeah.
Because
I find it, Tom Holland has always kind of been portrayed as like I don't really know how to say it, but like he's always been like the guy to fancy for girls, or I guess gay people as well, or gay men. But like he's like, obviously I've mentioned this before, but like he's a local boy. Like he lives like not down the road from me, but like not that far away from me. And like ever since like when he was like, I remember when he was like 16, 17, it was exactly the same. Like people in the area like fancied him. It's like up and coming actor, like he's really fit and he's basically our age. It's like he's 23 now. He's quite a bit older than us. And
yeah,
I think it was the weird thing was when it was like adults fancying a guy who at the time was like 16. Like I feel sorry for the bloke. I do.
I feel bad for him because like, you know who else I feel bad for? I feel bad for his girlfriend, whose name I'm not even going to say because her name wasn't public before this.
So we might as well go behind that and try to keep, even though it's not, but like we might as well act as if she was never public because clearly that's what she wanted.
Yeah, like it's just loads of people were getting angry that, oh, Tom is dating this person and not Zendaya, or Tom is dating this person and isn't me. But I find it so weird to have that sort of form of thinking that you'll actually go and research what university she goes to and what she's studying.
Oh, it is
like,
so
I think
creepy,
there's everything you need to know about Tom Holland's girlfriend or something like that.
Christ,
I think I saw that article.
But also, talking about people saying that he should, like, oh wow, him and Zendaya aren't a thing, like, that's not how films work. Like, he can fancy her in Far From Home. That doesn't mean that they're a thing in real life. Like,
yeah.
Oh
my God, look at all these articles. Everything you need to know about name Tom Holland's new girlfriend. Here's what we know about Tom Holland's alleged girlfriend. Who is Tom Holland's girlfriend? Everything we know so far. Tom Holland's personal life. What fans should know.
Oh Lord.
Get in the bin.
Yeah.
Like they have pictures of her here when she like was graduating. And it's like, oh, they're childhood friends. It's the real deal. She has a recent college grad. She has one sister. How are you finding this out?
Fuck me. Like it kind of scares me to think that like everything about everyone is like not well. Obviously, not everything is accessible, but like the fact that this girl was just a random girl up until the point she was dating Tom Holland,
Just someone he knew personally from like his childhood.
Yeah, like suddenly now everything about her is public. It's like dating Tom Holland has done that to her, and it's like that could be anyone. Like it's not really like anything special about her other than the fact that she's dating Tom Holland.
It kind of makes it like if you suddenly start going out with somebody who has any form of fame, everything about you is now public news. Everyone knows everything about you,
and that's something that you
do nothing about it.
That's something that you'd have to like sacrifice in order to go out with the person. So if you really like the person, you've got to kind of accept like, well, I guess all of my like privacy and
I guess I'm sort of a celebrity now.
Yeah, it's oh god, it's weird. And like I think as a famous person, it would be quite hard to know when someone genuinely really likes you as a person and wants to be with you, or whether someone's just in it for the clout and the money and because they want to become a celebrity themselves. Yeah. Like it would be very hard to tell.
But I mean, you could probably say with her that it isn't, especially with them apparently, because this is just people digging in and trying to find stuff. If they have known each other for as long as it's being said, then probably that isn't the case, which probably makes it worse. That people are doing this.
Because it's like she genuinely just like loves Tom as a person, and she's getting all this in response to that. Like
she went out with him once. Paparazzi took a picture of like her back, and people were like, I know who that is. I know where she goes to school. I know her siblings. I know this.
It's like kind of laughable in a way.
Like it's still really creepy though.
It kind of reminds me of just taking it back to like YouTube. I don't know if you remember when Rota Shaw's sister got revealed, like before she was public, and like she walked in while Harry was live streaming or something, and there's like a video on YouTube titled like Rota Shaw's sister reveal, and it's just a still screenshot of her standing in the background of Harry's live stream. It's like people are very desperate and very weird. Yeah,
like, and like I suppose when we keep bringing this back to YouTube. We're very sorry, but it's just when you get two YouTubers, we always loop it back to this. But I suppose this is why you get most like YouTubers who will keep everything secret and off camera. Because the thing is, I suppose it's easier when you're a YouTuber because you don't usually have paparazzi following you around.
No, because
unless you're Logan Paul,
it's a different sort of fame because like since it's entirely independent and like A-list celebrities, they live in LA in the hills and everyone knows where they live. Whereas like being a YouTuber, you don't have to be that. You can just live in a house on a street in a random place. And like the paparazzi isn't there for you. Whereas like for like an A-list celebrity living in a mansion, like there's no hiding from it.
Especially someone like Tom Holland, who's just been in the biggest movie of all time.
Yeah.
And do you know when this news was leaked as well?
When?
The day after Far From Home came out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very convenient.
I mean, I would say it could be a marketing ploy from Sony, but I don't think he would just sell her out like that.
I think what it more is that at that time he's in the spotlight and people are talking about him because the big film that he's in has just come out. So like it just makes sense that like while he's in the spotlight, stuff like that happens. I think it's kind of just almost a coincidence.
Yeah,
well,
it's
not quite, but
it's so weird. But you know what? I've just thought of a class segue on the topic of the biggest movie of all time.
Oh my god, the segues have been on point this episode.
So Avengers Endgame is a thing that's out on digital release now, and to hype things up.
Really, you never mentioned that Endgame is a thing that exists.
And I mentioned this to Tom just because I think this is cool, and he doesn't know. It's not like Tomas where I can talk about this stuff for ages. It's just Tom's not as knowledgeable, but I just think, no offense, but I just think this is weird especially for a film that got to a rating of like 12s. So the original plan, according to the writers for Avengers Endgame, had Thanos going back in time to 2012 to the first Avengers movie, killing all the Avengers himself and bringing Captain America's decapitated head to the future to taunt the alive Avengers.
What rating would the film have been if that happened?
Have to come up to like a 15 or 18 rated film.
Well, I swear there's like, I don't know if it's like a set rule, but like I've heard that like if a dead body in a film is shown, it instantly boosts it to at least a 15, and that is like the general consensus because like some 12-year-olds are not ready for that shit.
Yeah,
like,
especially because with the Marvel movie, a lot of people are below 12.
Yeah.
Can you show a dead person in a 12th movie?
I don't know, but
I'll say PG-13 movie because that's what most people will know them as.
Well, that's what it's called in America, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say considering the fact that you can only have one F-bomb per PG-13 movie, I'd say it probably would have bumped it up. And that's probably why they didn't. I'd say they would have gone with that plan just for shock value. But I'd say Disney were like, just slapped them on the wrist and said, no, you can't do that.
I mean, if that happened in the film, that would have been the big thing that everyone was like.
Well,
spoiling.
a lot of big things happened, but like that would have been like, I can't believe they had Thanos decapitate a man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, actually, now that I think about it, spoilers for Endgame, but if you haven't seen it already, like, you probably
don't care about it that much if you haven't seen it by now. Like,
well, I mean, technically, there was a decapitation in Endgame.
What you mean, like at the start?
Yeah, when Thor decapitated Thanos.
Well, sort of, yeah, but like it wasn't literally like shown like completely uncensored in a way. Like
you can see his head kind of hop off, but then you don't see like his corpse.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you're not watching a dead body, like.
Or Thor doesn't pick up his Thanos' head and just bring it with them. They just kind of do it and leave.
To be fair, right? Like I'm gonna ask you this because since obviously you're like a big Marvel fan. If you hadn't seen Endgame yet and someone told you that that's what happened, you probably would have just laughed, wouldn't you? Like I doubt you'd believe that would actually be the thing that happened.
No, that would be insane.
Yeah. Like you'd hear that and just be like, "Oh, good joke!" Like I thought you were actually going to spoil it.
When I think about it, I just look at what happened in Endgame, and if someone had spoiled it for me, which thank God they didn't, I would have been like, "Yeah, well, that seems pretty plausible." But like Thanos going back in time to 2012 and killing all the Avengers and bringing the severed head of the face of the MCU to the future and to hold it in front of that same person.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm glad that didn't happen. To be honest, I think that would have been a bit too much.
Oh, it would have been way too much. It would have just been like insane.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to. Speaking of,
come on, drum roll, please. What's he going to come up with this time?
You have no idea how hard it is to come up with a segue to lead. This is just so I can cover this topic before I jump into the hotline.
I got one.
Okay.
I got a segue. Speaking of seeing dead bodies uncensored, Logan Paul's bird was eaten by his dog.
Maverick, the reason Logan Paul screams in Japan about his merch is kind of dead.
It's actually like you can't help but feel sorry for him at this point. To lose two pets in quick succession, both of them murdered. Yeah.
While he was out, and he didn't even get to see like remains or anything.
You got nowhere to like. You can't bury it. You can't like. You don't really know. It's sad.
Gone.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he said it in his he actually made a decent video when he was talking about the bird, but he said because he had it since he was like a kid, and he said, I think this is like the universe. I think this is all. It's all been having random stuff like this happen to me since Japan. So he's basically saying it's karma. in a way.
Yeah, I
for
think
what he did.
I mean, it makes sense, like, especially since it's regarding, like, death.
Yeah.
It's almost like a thing of, like, how do you like it? But I don't know. I don't really believe in karma as, like, a force on its own, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. But you can't deny that's some bad luck for
It is
him.
some very bad luck, and it's a huge coincidence. And I think if you don't have a bit of sympathy for him at that point, like, despite everything he's done, like, you
And he's
kind
done
of
a
have
lot.
to.
But if you're just to be there like, oh yeah, he deserves it because he did this. He did a bad thing. Like, yeah, the thing he did was absolutely like
But, like, he knows that by now.
shambolic. But he knows it, and he's done
Hmm.
he's done so many charity events.
Yeah.
To like he's trying to show he's changed, but
Hmm.
and if you're still gonna hold it against him, like, oh, his bird died, good enough for him because of Japan, like.
To be honest, I kind of I hate saying this, but I kind of like him now. Like, I've actually kind of found him quite funny recently. Like,
Yeah,
since the Flat Earth documentary, that was like a turning point in my opinion. Like, I watched the Flat Earth documentary expecting to just kind of point and laugh at him, and I came away thinking that it was actually fucking hilarious. So I think since then I've appreciated the way he is and the way he's funny and the way that he'll just say something completely stupid and go along with a stupid narrative and effectively just take the piss out of himself. Like, I kind of like it.
because it's boosting him.
Yeah.
Like he went on, was it Fox News to
He
promote
looked
the
like he
Challenger
was
Games?
high. I swear to God, he was
He had
high in that
pink.
interview.
He had pink eye. He had pink
Yeah.
eye.
No, I know he had pink eye, but it was the way he was acting as well.
Oh, he was insane on that
Yeah.
podcast. A podcast that interview. He was just
Interview,
like, they said controversial YouTuber Logan Paul, and they were interviewing. And he goes, "Hi, it's me, Logan Paul." And he goes, "But you said controversial. I'm actually an ex-controversial YouTuber."
Did you see
yeah,
that?
that's not me anymore.
Did you see the interview with him? He was at, like, I think it was at that basketball game where he pulled his hamstring, and I swear to God, like, I know that if he seems like this all the time, I guess this is just his personality. But again, the way he was looking at the guy interviewing him, the way he was talking, the way he was like, yeah, gonna fight KSI in November. Like, he looks like he's on drugs. I wouldn't even be surprised. Like,
it just comes out one day in the news. Logan Paul, high all the time.
well, it all went back to, like, at the time that he was doing all the flat Earth stuff, people thought he was off his nut, but in the end, it was just all a big troll. But I think since then, people have kind of been keeping a close eye on him. Like, wait a minute, are you okay? Like,
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm starting to like him as well, but I mean.
Yeah, I just hope the rematch happens. But looking at the outcome of the Challenger Games, like, as an event, and the way it was run, I don't think organising events is really his team's strong point. So,
And I find it so funny that earlier this year he was mocking KSI
for not selling out
having apparently
venues.
a full out. Yeah, like he had all of them sold out across the world, apart from, like, was it like Sheffield or somewhere that he was saying there's still tickets for Sheffield or tickets for London.
I think London, I don't think there were still tickets for it. It seemed pretty jam packed. But, like, I think Sheffield, there might have been tickets or something. And he's like, haha, look, you didn't sell out one of your venues. But then the Challenger Games there were about eight people there.
Oh, yeah. There was like 25, 30 people there.
Literally. I saw a tweet. I'll send it to you and you can put it up on the screen here. But it's like a comparison of the Challenger Games versus one of the Sidemen charity matches. And it's the most sad-looking, like, stand of people versus an entire, like, it's Charlton Athletic full. And it's just like, you see the difference so much.
I kind of feel bad for him because, like, it was going to a good cause, going to the Special Olympics. But I just find it really funny that he was able to mock JJ and not be able to prove himself anyway.
And in terms of, like, the actual athletic side of the event as well, he completely disproved everything he said by just, like,
I'm the fastest man. I might be the fastest man in the world, and he just pulled a hamstring.
It's just the way he was like, yeah, I can beat Usain Bolt. And then that screenshot of everyone just running off, and he's just there sort of, like, slouched, like, running really slowly behind them.
He looked like he's like trying to race walk, but he doesn't know how to.
Yeah. Yeah.
On
But I don't know. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna make a random point, but you can go ahead. It doesn't matter.
I was just gonna say there was something quite sort of like, I don't know the right word, like sort of not poetic, but like you get what I mean about how when Fuzi and Logan, like Fuzi carried Logan across the finish line when they both had terrible events. Both like because Fuzi had his event last year that failed miserably, and then there's
on July 15th.
On July 15th, Hate Dies, Love Arrives, Drake's coming and all that. But like it was just kind of like it was almost like Fuzi was like, yeah, well, I had my event that failed miserably last July. It's 12 months on, and now Logan's having an event that's failing. It's like, don't worry, bro, I got you. Andre Turbio made that point. I deliberately just ripped that off from him.
But yeah, I'm not going to be able to come up with a segue from the other one, so I'm just going to skip to the load of emails that I've gotten in the last 2 weeks since the last podcast.
That in itself was sort of a segue, so I kind of rate that.
It was a bad one, but I mean,
it works.
So we've got a lot of them. I'm not going to answer all of them because we have a lot of them, and some of them are hard enough to answer, and a lot of them are. One of them I'm going to save for when Tomas comes back, which is what are your thoughts on the Phase 4 reveal? I say that now because I doubt Tomas is going to listen to this full podcast. So I'm just going to leave that for when he comes back. But we got the same one from two different people saying, any ads you cannot stand. Like, I cannot stand the League of Legends ads. And I think I know what one they're talking about. It's like the, hey, want to play some video games?
I haven't seen some in years. Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like it was animated by Andre Turba. Except like, trying to get it done as quick as possible.
It's like Andre Turbia, but worse. Yeah.
I kind of like that ad. That ad
I don't mind it.
To it. But what's the ones I hate? It's like the ones for apps where it's like Noob Pro and like it's like the Mafia City ads if you remember them. Level 100 noob, level 1 noob,
level 1 noob, level 100 boss. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for all these different games.
One that I cannot stand, an ad that actually gets under my skin more than anything. Do you get ads for Voxy?
No.
Okay, yeah, lucky you. It's essentially like a data service. Yeah. Wait, did you mean no as in you didn't get the ads, or no as in you dislike the ads, or what did you mean by that?
I mean, no as in I don't get the ads.
Right. Okay. It's essentially an ad where it's like the new mobile network streaming without eating your data, and I don't know what it is, but it just cringes me out so much because every time I get the ad, it feels like the voiceover is screaming even more to the point where it's just like without eating your data. And it's like shut up, like just calm down. Like no one cares about data that much.
I mean, I know it's not to do with ads that I don't like. It's actually an ad I really like. But do you ever get the Danny DeVito ads for like, oh my god, Twitter, shut up. Do you ever get the ads for like Danny DeVito with a like business managing app? And he's like giving out to business owners like, why are you still getting receipts?
No, I haven't seen that.
I'll see if I can find it. I'll send it to you on Twitter.
Okay.
But I mean, it's just I love those sorts of ads where they try to actually put a bit of personality into it. Like just putting Danny DeVito on your ad will probably just
good enough, yeah,
be fine. But you get the other ones that have like I don't know if you saw was it ImAllexx or someone that made a video on it where it's like the game where you have it's Parasynical I think, and it was like going down a tube thing and you have to race other people. And they just Googled like a sound effect for wee, and they just put that in their game and just repeated it over and over and over again for the ad. And it's
I thankfully have not seen that.
Do you get a lot of them for mobile games?
Sometimes, yeah. I get like if I'm playing a mobile game, I'll get an ad for a mobile game where there is no way to make that ad fuck off unless you like play the demo. And they are so annoying where it's like, place a tower here, place a cannon here, now watch all these little like creature things get shot by it. Okay, can I please go back to the game I'm playing now? Like, it's so, I don't know if you really play many mobile games, but that happens,
with a lot of free games.
And free games that you get ads every 2 seconds, like every time you die or lose at the game or whatever, you will get an ad, and you effectively have no choice but to play the demo of another game, which pisses me off quite a lot.
Yeah. I just hate most of the ads that come up. When I'm thinking of them is like really bad mobile ones that come up on YouTube, because I watch a lot of YouTube on my phone. But I just get so many ads for these awful mobile games, and I just don't play them. Like, I don't play mobile games in the first place a whole lot, but anytime I do, then it's like they're just not going away.
Yeah, go on. I think a lot of games, like if you get a game for free, you kind of have to accept the fact that you are going to be oofed in the face by ads every 2 seconds, because that's the only way that they get their money. So
yeah. I hate it so much.
It is, yeah. I mean, an advertising kind of technique that I find quite clever. Like, do you ever get YouTube ads where it's like, skip this video if you're not interested in saving money and things like? They basically guilt trip the viewer into staying, because you feel like an idiot yourself. If you skip the ad, it's like, I'm not interested in saving money. Like, obviously you are.
Yeah, and it's like, or other ones where it's like, we know you're going to skip this ad now in the first 5 seconds, and then that's where it cuts off. Where you skip the ad.
You never know what comes after that because you skip it every time.
Yeah. I mean, I find it good in the sense that, like, I'm like, yeah, thank you for appreciating that I'm not going to watch your ad, but at the same time, you've wasted so much money.
It kind of shows self-awareness, but it doesn't equally, like, the chances of people staying, like, some people will stay and be like, oh, I feel bad for them, I'm going to watch it, because I guess they're, like, weak-minded or something, I don't know. but like, a lot of people will then never even know what the ad is for because they skip it at that point. So, like, it's probably better to actually show what the ad is for in the first 5 seconds, because then more people would stay if they're interested in the thing.
Yeah, just don't make your ad annoying.
Don't be that ad that everyone takes the piss out of, because, like, although to be fair, that is a talking point. So I guess in terms of getting your name out there, like, maybe
like
it's
the Legend 27 back.
Oh my god, it's like the Legend 27. Oh, good old days.
I wish back before the ad apocalypse.
This conversation would have worked better back when you actually get ads on YouTube videos.
That's the time. We don't.
Yeah.
The next one is, how did you two meet? I am going to assume that you knew that this was me and Tom and not me and Tomas, because I think me and Tomas have mentioned this so many times. Well, I have gone to the same school as Tomas since I was 6. But I never spoke to him until I was like 11.
Oh, really?
So, so from the age of 11, I basically just know him through school. And then, so I watch YouTube and he's like, I want to start a podcast. And he never shut up until we started the podcast. But me and Tom, on the other hand,
have never met.
Haven't met each other.
So that's that question over. Bye. Next one.
But if you're meaning how do we meet, as in how do
we know each other?
How do we know each other? I found his channel, watched it, thought, yeah, that's pretty good. Was just a fan of his for like,
I think it was a few months until the Team 100 thing came around.
3 months.
Yeah.
They made Team 100 Hub, which definitely wasn't a complete and utter failure.
No, we made like 5 videos on that
5 videos,
channel. And
considering that I joined, I'm in 3 of them.
Yeah, like, to be honest, I'm not even. I know saying this makes it sound like I'm licking your ass, and I'm not. But like, genuinely, I'd say it was even more dead until you joined. Because I remember a lot of the time when the group chat kind of died, you'd be the one to revive it and be like, "Come on, guys, we got to like actually do something on this channel."
Yeah,
so
just be like,
yeah,
do a podcast, or
yeah,
because I joined and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make loads of like podcasts and collabs and all this stuff, and then we just didn't for like 4 months.
Well, it probably looked much better from an outsider's perspective. Like, from your perspective, it probably seemed like this like group of YouTubers, like small YouTubers, who were all trying to grow together, and you were like, I want to be part of that too. But in reality, it was just like we weren't actually doing that much other than just occasionally Skyping each other. Like, we weren't really making videos. Yeah. So I think, it kind of failed. But
as a result of that, me, Tom, and James Jaraban grew to be fairly close. Close. Shut up, Twitter! Oh my god, my Twitter just is blaring out my headphones.
My Alexa does that all the time. It'll hear me saying a random word and then it'll pipe up being like, the nearest Tesco is this distance away. I didn't ask.
There's basically me, Tom, and James, George Jaraban became a pretty close-knit group. We did a good few videos together.
So we kind of stayed quite close, whereas like I think like I'd say Travis as well, because he was in that group chat, but like I think it kind of just Team 100 slowly sort of drifted, but we kind of stayed close, and then as well as some others like now we got Marley along with it, as well as like
Marley,
Natalie and Rosie.
Rosie Mo, Natalie and Leah. So we've got our own like little group now, which is a lot better because we're actually mates and not just.
I feel like Team 100 was sort of we were kind of like strung together a bit. Like I think we were mates to an extent, but it wasn't like. It kind of felt like we were doing it for the sake of YouTube in a way, whereas like now it feels like it's a bit more genuine
than YouTube.
yeah, that's a good way of saying it. Sorry if any former Team 100 members are listening, but they're definitely not. So
either way, you'll probably agree with us. A good would you rather one was actually sent in. Would you rather save the world and die, but everyone knows you saved the world, or save the world and live, but nobody knows you did?
Ooh, I'd go down as a legend. I would die. I would. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't, because if I'm gonna save the world, I kind of want to see what it's like afterwards.
That's a good point.
Like I'd like to see if it would have changed as a result, or if it would just be the exact same. And either way, I'm terrified of death because. What happens afterwards? But that's a topic for another podcast.
That's a topic that we covered last time, and we will probably cover next time. So.
But, it's just I'd probably stay alive just to see what would happen if it would all get into another situation where you have to do it again.
Yeah, or... you know what? Yeah, you're right. I take that back. I think I would live. I'd want to see what happens. You're right. So that probably sounded like really sort of big-headed. It's like I would go down as a legend. Like no, I think no, you're right. I would stay alive to see what happened. Because you would know yourself that you saved the world.
Oh yeah, and you'd just be like, what's that Drake video where it's like, see this wasn't here. We started this. This is all ours. Reaching out of the car.
No,
that could be you, and you could actually like. You could tell the people you're close to, but they probably just won't believe you.
Yeah, like if because you said that like literally no one knows you saved the world. So if you tried to pipe up and be like, by the way, guys, did you know you're all in your life because of me? Like no one would believe you. So there would be no point in ever trying to say it. You'd probably just keep it to yourself as like a nice memory of saving the world.
Yeah. And the last one I think we're gonna do for this one is from Jay Sun, who says, who is your biggest inspiration and who do you aspire to be like, fictional or real?
Ooh. Do you want to go first? Because I do not have a clue.
I mean, I have a good few people. Like, I have the likes of John Cena, just because I think he's a legend.
I was literally thinking John Cena as well. That's mad.
I just think he's a massive legend, and Chris Pratt, because his career was dead, but thanks to just him working as hard as he could, he got back to where he is now. Plus, he actually has charisma, which is something I am lacking. Robert Downey Jr. as well, considering how he basically did the same thing as Chris Pratt, where his career was kind of in the gutter and brought it back. It's hard to come up with, like, when it's just kind of sprung on it, because I haven't actually given this much thought.
Yeah, and like you're probably going to think of loads later, but it's like when you're put on the spot, you hardly think of one. I think mine would probably be Tyson Fury, just because, in my opinion, he's one of the best fighters, definitely one of the best fighters at the moment, if not all time.
Yeah.
And the place he was at, like, he was so depressed, on the verge of killing himself, and he's managed to pull it back, and now he's, if anything, more recognised for being a good guy. So I think it's like overcoming adversity that I think is like one of the main things I'd aspire to be like, and I think he's done exactly that. So
and like people with like a never give up attitude as well.
Yeah,
full John Cena on this, but but yeah, like it's a hard enough question to answer. Like you could, if you're just sitting around for like a while thinking about it, you could probably come up with loads. But when you're just I'm trying to keep this part of it short and not overstay my welcome. But yeah, I think it's a very good question now, but it's just a hard one to answer when you're just kind of.
It is a very hard question to answer. I could probably think of a lot, but like,
especially when you throw the curtain of fictional or real.
Yeah, God, like looking up to a fictional character is not really something I ever think about because I don't really. Obviously, like everyone's got their like favorite fictional character or whatever, but you don't really look up to them in the same way that you would a real person.
Yeah. So. Yeah, good question though.
Yeah, very good question.
Thank you, Chief. And I think that'll do it for I think it's the hotline is what me and Tomas are calling it. We're struggling for names. So again, you could email us that as well as all your other questions that you want me and Tomas to answer on the next one at thebadfriendspod@gmail.com. And it is in the description as always if you forget that and you just want to copy and paste it because you're lazy. So yeah, it's just top link. It's not even a link. Just top of the description. You can just copy and paste it in and send us whatever is on your mind, and we will struggle and use our socially inept brains to try and solve your problems.
We'll try our best. That's all we promise.
Messed up individuals. Speaking of messed up individuals, Britain's new Prime Minister.
Yay! That was the best one yet.
I only said you messed up individuals just so I could get that segue. Yeah. But again, I'm just going to use this as a closing topic because I just find I don't know a whole pile on the topic, mostly because I'm not British.
And I am British and I probably don't know much more than you, so...
But Big Boris Johnson...
I mean, I think it's safe to say that we'd all happily have Theresa back at this point. Like, we took the piss out of her while we had her, but like, I guess you only know what you have when it's gone.
Wish you had the dancing queen back.
Yeah. I want her to just dance back onto that stage right now. Like.
But what was the nickname I saw from Marty Swartz? A Tesco value Donald Trump.
I saw that, and I just thought that is the most accurate description of him I've ever thought. Like, it's scary the similarities between him and Trump when you think about it.
Considering how they both praise each other all the time.
I mean, I guess it makes us safe in terms of nuclear war, but that's about it.
And because I think America's trying to make up for Britain. Like Britain's going to lose a good bit with the EU if you leave. I'm not 100% sure on Brexit. Okay, I'm not a political correspondent.
No, yeah, we're gonna lose quite a lot, and the pound is not worth anywhere near as much as it.
Apparently, Donald is he's trying to cut some deal with the British, but it kind of puts us in a bad spot.
What, stuck in the middle?
We're literally in the middle of
two idiots.
Considering you've got two racist, bigoted, people in charge of your country, and then we've got a gay leader.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it doesn't. Yeah,
it doesn't flow.
I don't know.
Especially considering we're in the EU, but if the UK leaves, then Northern Ireland leaves.
And then it means you have to have a passport to get into Northern Ireland, doesn't it?
That means there's a border check to get into Belfast, which is weird. But Boris is saying there will not be a hard border. Me. But if there's a no deal or something, I think it's just that's what happens. And then there's loads of tax on everything, and Ireland is screwed because we only trade with Britain. And
but I mean, you win some, you lose some. At least you've still got the links with the EU. At least, you'd much rather stay in the EU, and at least your country has the common sense to not throw a referendum randomly.
Lol, should we leave? You want to leave?
I think no. I mean, Cameron was convinced that the vote would result in us staying, and I think everyone was. because most people you'd speak to would say that they wanted to stay, but so many people voted not even knowing what it was. Like one of the top Google searches in the UK after the referendum happened wasn't even what happens when we leave the EU or stuff like that. It was what is the EU?
Oh my god!
Like that just shows. Like, I feel like if we did have a second referendum, it's so easy to say this now, but if we did have a second referendum, I'm pretty sure we'd end up staying because more people understand.
Oh yeah, but as well, from what I was hearing, a lot of and this ties in very well with the history of the Bad Friends podcast. But
right.
a lot of younger people apparently didn't vote for the Brexit referendum,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of
viewers
did.
That's why all of the old people who live out in the middle of nowhere in their provincial towns where there's literally no diversity at all, they're like, oh, we want our country back, so they vote leave. But I mean, it is what it is. Yeah.
What's his name? You might know him. Russell Howard.
Yes.
After I think he did the Russell Howard hour when Brexit was kicking in. And he was talking about these sort of bigoted old boomers that were talking about how Brexit and they want their country back, and he's like, I want it to be back like when I was little. And he said, what, a 3-day working week and a television full of pedos?
I love that.
So
yeah, it's like, what back from what? Like, what do you want your country back from? Like,
if anything, the world is getting better.
And I think the funny thing is, like, if there's one country in the world that shouldn't be allowed to complain about people from other countries coming in and living there, it's Great Britain. When you think about it. And I'm pretty sure you could very firmly agree with that as an Irish person.
Colonizers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think we should leave this topic here, honestly. Like, it's thin ice.
Ireland, best country. 1 second now, and I start singing the national anthem after we finish recording. So that's good, just so I can do that as quickly as possible. That's gonna finish this episode of the Bad Friends podcast. Thanks to Tom for coming on, being a very good substitute for Tomas.
Thank you for having me on.
No bother, and you're always welcome to come back, Tom.
Yay!
There will not be a podcast again next week, as I said at the beginning, because I'm in Portugal, so there's no one to record it because Tomas is incapable. Be sure to tweet him telling him how incapable he is.
I will do that for you, like, the moment I can. And
yeah, after that, I should be back, and Tomas should be back, and we should be able to get as many episodes of this podcast out, hopefully weekly. But knowing us, and knowing me especially, probably not, so don't get your hopes up. But yeah, we'll see, I guess. So yeah, thanks for listening as always, and we should be back in 2 weeks for episode 13. So be sure to email us, keep us up to date with any topics you want to speak about, and yeah, chat to you lot in a bit.
Bye bye.
Yeah, going 8 like nigga. Move out the way, please don't be a hero. Bling loud, Chino skateboard P. Bling loud, Chino skateboard P. Yeah, going 8 like nigga. Move out the way, please don't be a hero. Bling loud, Chino skateboard P. Bling loud, Chino skateboard P.
Made in Tokyo, damn, just like most my clothes, damn. Chain on skateboard P, skateboard BB, my OG. Whole city waiting on me. Fuck boy hate on me like it's they only JOB. You owe respect, yeah, pay your fee. I changed the game up like the last level. Got beat as PIG, and I did the Jesus pieces. I did the power through pieces. I'm your niggas OG, yeah. I'm at a level you can't see, yeah. Mine Jacob, yo shit, costume, jury, Halloween, yeah. Level up, level up, level up. Never let my dogs down, I let them up. You in a clique full of niggas I can never trust. Backstabbing, that was never us. Only thing behind the back was the past. Treat my first day like it's my last. Well, my first single was my last. That should show you right there where I'm at.
Yeah,
we've been
going 8 like nigga. Move out the way, please don't be a hero. Bling loud, Chino skateboard P. Bling loud, Chino skateboard P. Yeah, going 8 like nigga. Move out the way, please don't be a hero. Bling loud, Chino skateboard P. Bling loud, Chino skateboard P. Yeah, hold up, baby girl, yeah, you know I got it. ooh, yeah, ooh, nigga kinda poppin'. I been buying Louis, I been shopping. Gotta get it, ooh, yeah, no option. KY run me back, KY run me back. Swisher on the track, Swisher on the track. Tokyo that crack, Tokyo that crack. Baby run it back, baby run it back. I got a rest today, she got a bag today. These niggas feel some way, you let that shit say. Oh, I don't let it go, oh, I don't let it go, oh, I don't let it go. Yeah, going 8 like nigga. Move out the way, please don't be a hero. Bling blow, ooh, chain on skateboard P. Bling blow, ooh, chain on skateboard P. Yeah, going 8